Hi, I'm Z Garcia, and you're watching The Dice Tower.
Hi, I'm Eric Summerer, and here's what's coming from The Dice Tower this week.
Good Monday morning, everybody. Welcome to the news for November 4th, 2013. Well, last week was a somewhat busy week for me. I build a large box maze each year. Here you can see us destroying it. It actually took us about 16 hours to build and 20 minutes to take down and get rid of, which is maybe a little bit depressing, but it was a lot of fun. And I even put a video up on Saturday where you can see I gave some tips on if you want to build your own box maze. There is a lot of things going on that are coming up. One of the things I want to talk about is the People Choice Awards. I talked about that last week, how I did my video and many of you couldn't see it, and I was able to play it, and then I got many emails. So many I did not answer them all. I apologize. Where people said you can go online and download it or record it on your screen. I tried many of those things and it didn't work. And I should have mentioned that in the last video. Not to mention I can no longer see it. It's gone. It's dead. Goodbye. So I'm going to have to redo it. But that's going to have to wait till next week probably. Now the good news is, well, there's good and bad news. One of the things is there's just, right now, there's so many things. I have a notepad that I keep somewhere. Right over here. In this notepad that I have, I keep track of all the reviews that I need to do. And as you can see, there's multiple pages here. I also keep a running total at the top of how many I need to do at one point. And right now the number is 99. So that's quite a few. Not to mention, there's a few items I would like to review. I'd like to take a look at the train tiles from Dwarven Forge. I'd like to take a look at this table. There's a couple other things. So there's a lot that needs to be done. And part of that, it slows down this time of year because so many new games come out. And we also do the top 100s and such. So we're trying to expedite some of that. So this week, I am going to finish my top 100. You're going to see all the rest of the videos. We're going to post 2 today, 1 tomorrow, 1 the next day, 1 the next day, and so on, all the way up to Saturday, and get all those videos out where you can see them. And hopefully you will enjoy those, and then that will be taken care of. Next week, Melody will do her top 100, and then hopefully we'll get into the Christmas shopping guides also. So there's a lot coming up. So let's get to the news. Bit of news that's coming out. Let's talk about the Kickstarter stuff first. A few games on Kickstarter that I found interesting. First of all, Kings of Israel. This is a cooperative game, and one of the things that's interesting about Kings of Israel is it has a biblically based theme, which is unusual for good games anyway. I'm doing a preview of that this week. I actually like it, so check that out. King's Armory. I don't know much about this, but it's a co-op tower defense game, which there's been some of those kind of sort of already, some tower defense games, but this one looks interesting, and it goes up to 2 to 7. It goes up to 7 players, and players can join or leave, something that Shadows over Camelot did. So I really hope that this one is as good as it looks. 2 Rooms and a Boom is a new game that's trying to become the new werewolf style game. At several of the conventions I've been to, it's been being played a lot by a lot of people. It's finally now on Kickstarter doing quite well, so you might like that one. Also, I didn't mention this last week. I forgot there's this little card game out called Legendary Showdown. I don't know much about it, but it stars Dr. McNinja, which is one of my favorite online webcomics, which is a ninja who's also a doctor. In one hand he heals, the other hand he slays. It's quite entertaining, so hopefully this game brings some of that to life. That's the Kickstarter stuff. A couple other things. Gen 42, they make the very popular abstract game Hive. They've announced a new bug coming out, the pill bug, which allows you to move adjacent pieces. The pill bug, that oh so beloved bug that's out there. So, and Hive players are always glad to see a new piece in the game. Patch Products now has the rights to the very popular game Stratego. Now, Stratego was owned by Hasbro for a while, then the license moved. The license actually is controlled by Jumbo from Europe, and so now Patch Products, they make a lot of smaller kids games. They have that. I got a promo card in the latest expansion for King of Tokyo. that shows it's a card for their next game from Yellow called King of New York. King of New York is going to be a very similar game to King of Tokyo, but there's going to be locations in New York that you move to. That's about all we know, but man, I bet you a lot of people are going to be getting that one. Several new games will be being released this month or next. Rio Grande is bringing over Concordia. This was the cover doesn't impress very much, but this was one of the highest rated games at the Essen Fair, so people will be looking forward to that. And they'll also be bringing a new Power Grid expansion, Australian and the Indian subcontinent, because we so much needed more Power Grid maps. Some of you must play Power Grid a lot. Canterbury from Andrew Parks from Quixotic Games. I actually have a copy of that. Plan to play that and get that reviewed soon for you. Queen Games has a few games coming out. One is Speculation, a money financial type game. And the other is Darker, Darkest, a cooperative survival horror game. Now, granted, that's not a new genre breaking ground there. There's a lot of co-op survival horror games, but let's see how this one plays out. Eldritch Horror, the game that I think is fantastic. We played it at Gen Con. Very much looking forward to seeing this one released. That will be coming out from Fantasy Flight. Paizo has these Pathfinder mats, these little mats for their Pathfinder adventure game, card game, and you put your cards on, and if you do it once per game, you get to draw a card. So, talk about a way to sell an accessory. It gives you a special ability. I'm sure people would have bought it even without the special ability. From Daryl Lauder again, Game Salute, we have Compound It. That's a game about chemistry. I don't know much about it, but I've heard very, very good reviews of that one. I'll try to get a copy and let you guys know more about that. And then there's Panda SARS, which is bringing two games. One that I like quite a bit, The Great Fire of London, which fire is sweeping across London and you're trying to stop it, or at least protect the parts of the city that are important to you. And then New Amsterdam, which is about trading furs and such in New York, or actually it's New Amsterdam. Why they changed it, I can't say. People just liked it better that way. But I wasn't a huge fan of this game, but Ryan Metzler was, and several people I know like this game quite a bit, so both those are coming. That's a lot of games. The news of the week here is very personal to me, and I'm very excited about this. This happens once a year. November 15th is coming soon, and that is the birthday of my son Jack, who was born 3 years ago, this November 14th. He died in January, 2 months after being born. He was born 2 months early, actually. He got meningitis and passed away, and the board game community was very thoughtful and generous during that time. And so we took that idea and ran with it and started the Jack Vassel Memorial Fund. Now, the Jack Vassel Memorial Fund has a board of 9 directors, and you can find out all about the fund at jackvassel.org. We just did a site redesign. I think it looks really nice, and you can go in there and you can donate to the fund, or you can request money if you're a gamer and you have a time of great hardship or catastrophic something has happened to you. That's what it's for, and we've been able to help several people out over the past year by just, they need help. We have the money for them. Now, we raise this money. You could always go donate to the site, but one of the biggest ways we raise money is through an auction, a geek list auction at BoardGameGeek.com. Now, this auction starts every November, and this year it's going to start in November 6th, 2 days from me making this video. Now, when we put this geek list up. Now it's really exciting. You can go back and look at the other ones. They are it's really fun. You can auction off anything you want, really. Most people auction off games or game supplies or gaming activities, but you really can auction off anything you want. Then you can also bid on these things, and then when you win the bid, instead of paying the person who auctioned it, you pay the Jack Vassel Memorial Fund, and then we tell the person that you've paid, and then they ship you the item or whatever the thing is. And this has really, really worked well in the past. So there's 2 ways you can be involved in this. One is to put up things for auction. Maybe you have some great games that you don't play anymore when you want to see them find a good home and money for a good cause. Or just to go in there and bid. Bid bid high, bid often, bid generously. So that's all coming up on November 6th. Keep an eye on Board Game Geek. For that, we'll post it also on our website at dicetower.com and let you know about that. So, I mean, the last 3 times that this has happened, it's been a phenomenal success, and I want to thank everybody who's involved. If you are a board game company and you're watching this, I'm calling you out to get involved too. Several of the board game companies have really put up some amazing stuff. You just wait and see. Anyway, that's coming soon. Again, you can find out more information at jackvassel.org. In the Dice Tower Network, our podcast, first of all, the Dice Tower podcast, we have 329 coming out this week where we talk about our top 10 kids games for kids that are 8 years or younger. Also, I talk a little bit about playing with kids. Ludology, number 68, they talk about set collection. I think their episode is called Game, Set, Match. I don't know what it is with podcasts having to have punny titles. Anyhow, Plaid Hat number 111, they talk about how to start up a regular game night to get people to keep coming. Gameopolis, there's no podcast currently coming from Gameopolis. You can listen to their podcast, right? There's an announcement from Mark there about Jeff, one of the co-hosts of Gameopolis, passed away. And so that podcast will be on hiatus for a while, although still part of the Dice Tower Network. So our really sincere condolences in this matter, and we really just hope, we pray for Jeff's family and for Mark and for all those there, and our best wishes from the Dice Tower Network to everyone there. Secret Cabal, number 53, they talk about Halloween. What a surprise. Lots of people. And they put out a podcast where they said, it's an extra one, even though they put it out at the normal time. They would produce one anyway. Board Game University. I said last week I was going to talk to Gordon Lamont, and that actually didn't get posted last week because of busyness. That will be posted this week. Showdown will be posted this Friday, where we talk about Alien Frontier versus Kingsburg. And also, is the friendly local gaming store still relevant? Blue Pig Pink Peg, they take a look at Nothing Personal, and we added a new podcast to our network, Push Your Luck Podcast. Eric Tao is one of the co-hosts of this podcast. Eric really gave me a big hand a couple of years ago at Gen Con, helping me take pictures and things like that. So check them out. That's Push Your Luck Podcast. Our question of the week is from Jimmy, and he wants to know, he's getting rid of games. How do you sell the games that you're getting rid of? Well, when we sell games, there's, obviously your best bet would be to go online and sell them. The problem is shipping, and that's really something you need to take into account. If you're going to ship to international, for example, you really need to pay attention to that because shipping can be quite expensive. There are multiple good ways to sell things. Obviously, there's eBay if you want to put it up for auction on eBay, but realize that not every gamer uses eBay, and so you may not get the best price, but it is a easy way to put something up. Another way is to sell it at BoardGameGeek.com. They have a marketplace there where you can post games and sell them. Board Game Geek takes a very small percentage. I really think it's a good deal, and you have a hardcore gamer audience looking for them. If you don't want to use the internet, because those are the two main options, Board Game Geek and eBay, then you can always sell them to other people. There's, for every convention that I've ever been to, on Board Game Geek, there's some kind of organization where they'll have either a math trade where people trade games for each other, or kind of like a flea market type thing where people can go sell games. Again, this is always a great deal because you have people who are gamers there who are looking to buy those games. Your worst bet is to put them up at a garage sale or put it in your newspaper, because it depends how many gamers are in your area. For me, this is what I do. I sell most of my games to my local game group for really, really cheap prices because A, they help me play all these new games, and that way the games stay in the gaming group. And then the rest I sell at the Dice Tower convention. The convention, I go there, I take them all there and sell them at the flea market. It's a really easy way to do it. For me, taking the game, packaging and shipping it, and sending it is so much work. There's just so much involved there, especially when you have multiple games. If you have just a few, that's not a bad thing. So That's how you can sell games. It's easy to do, and I think it's fun. Even if I hate a game, I at least can sell it to somebody who will like it. All right, folks, there is a lot of reviews coming this week. If you notice, our contributors to the Dice Tower videos has just they've really kicked it up. I got more reviews from Brian Metzler. I got more reviews from Dan King. I got a review from Scott Farrer, from Barry. In fact, Barry will be taking a look at Essen this week. The Chief will be doing an unboxing video of Ogre, that gigantic game. Scott Farrer has a video coming, so there's a lot coming. For myself, I have several videos that will be coming out this week. Also, The Witches from Mort Wallace, Choose One, a party game from Looney Labs. I think I have 10 different reviews coming this week. Now, next week, I'm going to try to kick that into even higher gear. But like I said, the top 100 kind of slowed me down a little bit this week. But there's a lot. And I'm hoping to have a really big name game for you guys reviewed this week. But it's gonna be close if I can get that one in. Depends how many times I can play it and in time enough to review it. So keep an eye out. But I'm hoping. Anyway, that's what's coming this week. Hey folks, each week I take a look at one of the shelves of my collection and talk about the games on that shelf and why I'm keeping them in my collection. Now, of all the shelves in my collection, this is the most dangerous shelf in my collection, and that's because there are 4 of these 6 games could easily go, I think. So let's talk about the 2 that won't go. First of all is Traumfabrik here. This is a game, it says Fabrik der Traum. It's also, it's called Hollywood Blockbuster. There's multiple names. This is an auction game about making your own movies. It's really fun, especially my version where I've cut up and added modern actors into it. And then Sentinels of the Multiverse, which is a great superhero game. Like this one quite a bit. Now, I like the other 4 games here on the list for different reasons. War of the Ring, a great 2-player game that encompasses the entire Lord of the Rings trilogy, just huge and epic and fun. But it's getting harder to get to the table, so I could see this one leave my collection at some point. Eclipse, for as much garbage as we've given Eclipse in the show, I do think it's a fine game, but I find that I'm not playing it as much, and I actually like Exodus Proxima Centauri better. And so Eclipse is probably not too long. Mage Knight is another great game. The reason Mage Knight would probably leave my collection is because there are people in my gaming group who really like it. And if I'm going to play it, I will probably play it with them. So why should I keep a copy? And Pony Express is a great game. Bruno Fiduti, Antoine Bauza. I love it a lot. A silly little game. But, maybe another silly little game will come along that might replace it. So anyway, but for now, I like all 6 of these games, obviously. And they're on my shelf. Hey folks, Christmas is coming and people buy gifts often for others on Christmas, and one of the things that people like to get for each other is games. In fact, we're going to be making some lists, as I said, of games that you can buy for Christmas that's coming up. Now, with this, many people are very excited when they first get in the hobby, and they like to propagate the gospel of gaming and tell other people about gaming. And I'm certainly one of those. That's where the Dice Tower had its roots, and that's still our goal, is to get more and more people into gaming. Now, the problem with this is many people will go out and they will buy games for all their friends and relatives at Christmas time, and then they can get a little disappointed when some of those people don't play the game. Some of them don't even open the game, or some of them open it and just they never, they're like overwhelmed by it. So what should you do in this regard? Well, I'm not saying don't buy games for other people. I think you should try to I think getting games is a great gift. But if you know someone does not like games, I think you shouldn't get them games. I mean, what are you going to, like, if I knew someone who didn't like to fish and I was a fisherman, I wouldn't go out and buy them a fishing rod and say, okay, now this time you're really going to like it. There are some people who just don't like games. So why waste time buying them games? Buy them something that they want. Remember, when you give somebody something, it's about what they want, not what you want. For many people, buying a party game is the best gift. That's the kind of game that they like. And you say, I'm not a big fan of party games. Well, it doesn't matter. That's what they like. For other people, perhaps you played a game with them in the past. And if you played a game with someone and they like it, that's a great choice to buy for them because they don't need to read the rules that much. They've already played it with you. They already know what they're getting into. Also thinking about that person, not about them playing with you per se, but about playing with their family. Is this something that they can get their family? If they're married, can they get their spouse to play with them? If they have kids, will they be able to play this game with their kids? And it's always a great idea. Whatever I said about, should you buy a game or not. For kids, always a great idea to buy them a game. Even if they're not that interested in games, it's good to point them towards that because they have enough other electronic devices and things being thrown at them. I think a board game is an excellent gift in that regard. So think about the person that you're buying a game for. Now, if they're in your hardcore gaming group and you get play games with them all the time, sure, buy them a game a hot new, great game. But for most people, you're going to be better off looking for a game that's as simple as you can possibly think, still fun, of course, and hopefully one that they have seen and played before. That's the news. Don't forget, you can find all our podcasts, you can find at dicetowernetwork.com. You can find out all about the Dice Tower at dicetower.com. We have a ton of stuff. I think I'm looking at 30 videos coming this week, so pay attention to those. A little bit later today, you'll see the first of the top 100 videos. Two more, though. We've already been doing it. So the next two, I believe today you will see 60 to 51 and 50 to 41. And then tomorrow 40 to 31, then 30 to 21, then 20 to 11, and then 10 to 1. And then one more video on Saturday about all the games that didn't make it. How sad. So lots of exciting things this week. I really need to get to work, so let's get on that. Until next time, I'm Tom Vassel, and you've been watching The Dice Tower.
To find out more about all of our podcasts, check out dicetowernetwork.com. To see a listing of our videos, head to dicetower.com. We'd like to thank our sponsor, Cool Stuff Incorporated, where you can buy games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock.